Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Parthaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanira Swayam Vyasena Grasitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Atsadashaധ്യായിനീം Ambatvam Anusantadami Bhagavad-gite Bhagavad-veshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Madhutaha Sunmanti Divyai Savai Vedai Sangapada Panisadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Jnanavastita Tadgatena Mahata Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidussurākrana Devāya Tasmai Namaha Devāya Tasmai Namaha. Happy to see you all once again. This Bhagavad Gita is my favorite topic because it is a favorite topic for our Gurudev also. Yes. He loved Bhagavad Gita very dearly. And that is the reason why every evening for the over 40 years of his life, he spoke the message of Gita and he lived also. Speaking is one thing, but living is yet another, right? We can give lectures and give advice to people, but following the same advice to ourselves is the most difficult. I have seen doctors who are expert in lung specialists also smoke. Gastroenterologists eating pizza. So, they advise the people eat carefully, but they don't advise people not to smoke, but they do. Liver specialists drinking alcohol. So there is a dichotomy between knowing and being. And that is actually the problem. As we live in this today's world, we know many things, but we are unable to adapt them in our life. It doesn't become a part of our life. We don't emulate those things. It doesn't percolate into our personality.
And it causes a great problem as such. If you don't know and you do it, it's okay. You don't know. But knowing and then not doing, that splits the personality. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, what we see is that the practical tips of how to live a life from wherever you are, whatever you are, to where you would like to be. The journey is clearly laid out. It is not a mere advice or discussion on some high-sounding philosophical truths, which probably is there in the Upanishads. While the student and the teacher both were of high degree of purity of mind, attentiveness, willingness to give up everything to reach the salvation. But today, as we see, the students are not of that qualification. The quality is not that high. Gurudev, knowing very well, as he traveled in the year 1951, whole year he traveled, only to observe what is necessary for me to do. 1 year market survey. And at the end of it, what did he conclude out of the survey? Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyati. This is the survey he did. May everyone be happy. May everyone be healthy. So 1 year of his travel, and then he found out that people have lost touch with their own culture and wisdom. And they have adapted to materialistic living and also have started ignoring what is valued, what is valuable, what is important in their life. It is not that study of Bhagavad Gita will make you a sannyasin, a renunciate, or a monk. In fact, Krishna does not want Arjuna to become a monk. At the end of it, he did not say, he said, you do the work. He never said, give up the work. Again and again in every chapter, he will emphasize this. It is not the intent of Lord Krishna to make everyone renounce life and go to the Himalayas or to the solitude. No. He said, go, stay in the battlefield. Stay in your workplace. Do your best. And that is what attracted Gurudev. Coming from the Himalayas, he was always with these renunciates, monks. And in that very atmosphere, he found peace. While he originally journeyed from the world of action, he was a journalist. And then he went to a place of solitude, teaching, wisdom, quiet, peace, serenity. Did he not enjoy it? He very much enjoyed it. But then he also had the vision that this is okay for those people who really seek it. And they are very few in number. What about the people of the world? Are they cursed to live in the doldrums of life? In the daily agitations and challenges without any scope for release? And the only release is just to renounce everything and walk away? Can there be a middle path? As even Buddha calls as the Madhyama Marga. What is a middle path? Where you do your worldly duties with great efficiency. At the same time, do not allow yourself to be completely sucked into that. While you keep your inner serenity intact while you externally work efficiently. Is that possible? And that is what he found in Gita. Unlike the Upanishad, as I said, the teacher and the student, both of them are of high degree of evolution, and they were able to let go of the whole world or worldly things. Still going to fall up very soon. Many of you are looking at it. When is he going to throw it? While the student of Upanishad is highly evolved, and this teacher also, both of them discussed about the highest teachings of the Vedas, Upanishads. Whereas Bhagavad Gita is for a common man who can be in the world, but not of the world. Is it not when you go to a doctor and when he says that, you have a lot of, you are very borderline, what do you call? Borderline diabetic. So what do I do? Take injection and eat. Take the injection. Right? So now if you say don't eat anything, this doctor is useless. Let's go to somebody else. Moderately drink. That's not what they say. Don't drink. I don't think this is good. So today's world, we want a best of the both worlds. So Bhagavad Gita is that which no doubt gives us the glimpse of what that great state of salvation is, while it also addresses our immediate issues and how to handle them. Not just leave them go. That is actually what Arjuna thought. I'll just leave everything and go. Krishna smiled and said, no, that's not possible. For giving up is not a external renunciation. It is mental detachment. Until one becomes evolved to mentally detach from the attachments of the world, one cannot physically let go. And if he does so, he will be fully disappointed and greatly unhappy. While the mind wants it, you don't want to do it. Right? Mind wants it, but physically it is like you said to everybody, I'm not going to eat sweets at all. But middle of the night, you open the fridge. And so I have told I don't eat it. So people have put one whole bundle of sweets in the fridge to tempt me. Let us see what does Swami do. In the middle of the night, you'll open. There are a whole bundle of sweets there. So if you are told the word, I'm not going to do it, are you really convinced that you don't do it? Or for the sake of getting an appreciation noticed by the world, oh, he's a person who doesn't do this. Such a dichotomy, if it is there, that wanting at one hand and not want to do outside, will be a great pain. In fact, Bhagavan Krishna calls it as a life of mithyachar, hypocrisy. So while Arjuna wants the victory, but doesn't want to fight. He wants to get rid of these enemies, but does not want to engage in the war. He suffered 13 years of humiliation, and revenge is there in his heart. But he does not want to kill anybody. So Gurudev had explained the entire Bhagavad Gita in the common man's language. And when he started off, he was very much opposed by the scholars who said that this knowledge should not be given to the common man. And that you are speaking in English, an alien language, according to them. He said, what do you want me to do? The common language that presently today the educated masses in India know is this language because of the British rule for over 200, 300 years. Everybody got educated in English, therefore I would speak in that language which everybody can understand. No, but you cannot speak this holy scripture in that language. Oh, is it so? Dayato Vishayan Pumsah Sangas Teshu Pachayade Sangat Sanjayade Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayade Krodat Bhavati Sammoha Sammoha Smriti Viprama Smriti Pramshat Buddhi Nashat Pranashid. You understood? So those people say, what did he say? Exactly. I can speak in that language, but you don't understand. What's the point? It is there in that Anakush movie. He laughed and said, I speak the language which common man can understand. So the entire life he spent 40 plus years in explaining this Bhagavad Gita. And it is almost considered equal to that of any other holy scriptures of the world. Most ancient too, and most commented scripture in the world. In all languages possible. So, the Upanishads contain the highest wisdom, but the same wisdom for a common man, it is translated into by Vedavyasa in the form of a dialogue between Lord Krishna and his student Arjuna at the battlefield, the place of work. How to lead your life in the world of action. That's why it is most adaptable to us, practical guide. And out of the 700 verses, to select only 5 verses is a really a difficult task. It is like you take a child to a sweet shop and say, choose only one. So I want everything. Or go to a toy shop and ask the child, take only one. It would not. Right? In the same way, 700 beautiful verses, and out of that you have to select. And that was done for the sake of, this year's celebration, the 75th year of Chinmaya Mission. So, Puja Guruji and Swami Ishwarananda together decided to select only the 5 verses. And the Swami Ishwarananda, the present global head of mission, said, it is not only for you to know the meaning, memorize the verses, but also to convey this knowledge to as many people as possible. Anybody who calls himself as the follower of Hinduism must know this. Because if you ask a person, oh, are you Hindu? Yes. Why? I don't know. Because I'm born to a Hindu family. Be Hindu means what? Behind you. Behind you, be Hindu. Not that way. It's not only for a particular religion. It's if you look at this, these teachings that are there in Bhagavad Gita is not for a particular religious set of people. It's for anyone in this world, man or woman, whichever be the caste or color or creed or status and the position of the person, whichever profession one takes up, whoever it be. Anybody who start to think will understand this. That's why in another place, when I was asked to speak on this topic, on some other topic, I said, what is Hinduism basically? It is not a way of life, it is a way of thinking. Many people have translated Hinduism is a way of life. It is not the way of life, it is a way of thinking. So here, how to think. Bhagavan starts with that, how to think. So the 5 verses are going to be covered in these 4 days. So I'll start with the first one today. Okay, those who know Sanskrit, please follow that. This is from the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the verse number 5. Uttaredatmanatmanam नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानम् आत्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. In this verse, the Atma word is repeated at least 5 times. Atmanam, Atmana, Atmanam, Atma eva, Atmanaha, Atmanaha. 6 times. What is Atman? We put in English, it is called Atman. It is not Atman, at woman also, at everyone also. Now, this word Atma is not only used to indicate the highest self, but also the mind, also the intellect. We'll see how this is. Broadly speaking, there are 2 kinds of thought processes that take place in our psyche. One that emotes, feels, and one that thinks and decides. At any given point of time, we can either engage in the thoughts of emotion, feelings, memories, likes, dislikes, etc. Or we can engage in thoughts of decision, knowledge, wisdom, planning, organizing our thoughts properly, or organizing the day. It need not be a habitual thinking. So the mind is a habitual thinking, whereas intellect is decisive thinking, purposeful thinking, conscious thinking. So habitual thinking is what we usually engage in. If you look at yourself from morning till evening, what are the thoughts that went through your mind? Most of them are this repetitive one only. Today, what I want to eat for breakfast, how to prepare, what to prepare, when to eat. And so you have a set of people to call every day, you do that. Or set of routines that you do without even thinking. Thought is there, but about that only. That's why it is to be made as a practice to us that every day we should put a new input to our mind. Then only we start thinking differently. Microsoft came with a passion, think. Remember long time back? Microsoft, I think, right? Or IBM? IBM said, think. Yes. Then Apple came up and said, think again. Meaning you think all right, but if you think again, you will change it. You make it better. We do think, but what we think, that is very important. And what we think keeps changing, or how we think we keep changing based upon the input that we receive. So here, first stage, there are 4 statements made in this verse. 4 important lessons. First one is, Atmana Atmanam Uddaret. Lift yourself by yourself. Swami, what is this? When I get up, I lift myself only. What is the big deal to say? Don't take a literal sense. When you get up yourself. Teaching number 1. Is it a teaching? When I get up myself only. Who else? Unless I am very, handicapped, so I need somebody's help. Otherwise, I get up myself by myself. That's teach. Let the man lift himself by his own self. Right? So we should understand what this means. Whenever the mind, habitual mind, brings you down, drowns you due to its past experiences, emotions, disappointments, etc., you need to lift your mind with the help of the intellect. This is the first step. Because our emotional mind naturally brings those thoughts which are not pleasant. This way, some people, if you look at their face, you will understand that. They look like they have taken a small quarter cup of castor oil. Smile is a mile away. Always think about no. Why? The mind is naturally, when you leave it to itself, it will go back to its past. Regrets of the past, as Gurudev would say. Regrets of the past occupies you so much. As we age, we become more and more unhappy about ourselves. Vriddhastava chinta saktaha. Bhagavan Shankara said it like that. Who is an old man or old person? One who cannot come out of his regrets. That is called old age. Not physical old age. Mental old age is where one cannot get rid of one's regrets, disappointments, shortcomings, unhappiness, memories. That's why once in a while you take the marriage album. So much of hair I had. So many friends. And I unnecessarily married this one. And see, when people take picture, I always wonder who watches them, who even looks at it. Nowadays, earlier times when you take a picture, it's costly affair, Take a picture and go to the photographer and go there, and then he takes a dark room and then develops it and then makes one print and all that whole process. Now, tick, next day it's deleted. This is what you call short, snapshot. Snap, not whatever, snap. Just look at it once you've gone. So now coming back to our point. So when the mind is going to the past regrets and experiences and shortcomings and disappointments, when the mind goes into this habitual mode, consciously use your buddhi, intellect, to lift yourself from that. And you alone can do that. Here Krishna says, you have to do it. I cannot. Because what is happening in your mind, you only know. Thank God I don't know. Thank God others don't know what is going on in your head. Is it not? Think about it. The person next to you exactly knows what is happening in your head. You will be afraid of that person. Don't be here near me. The greatest secret that we have is our mind. Thank God nobody knows. That's why the teenagers also, once they become teenagers, you ask them any question, they won't answer. Why? Why unnecessarily tell you what I think? Do you want to eat? And their room you cannot enter. If you enter, do you know that you should knock? So the mind of ours, whenever it is habitually engaged in thinking about the past actions, past regrets and disappointments, the mind. So only Swamiji say, there are only regrets and disappointment. There are pleasant things also in the past. Even that is equally bad. Why? Because when you think about those things, you regret that is not happening now. Right? So I was having such a good health, and then I used to go to gym every day and then live. No, I can't. So, whether you are thinking about the pleasant things of the past or the unpleasant things, present condition is miserable. So, Atmanam Manaha, Atmana Buddhya, Uddare, lift. This is the first step. This itself is a practice. Be watchful of your mind, observe your mind, how it is unconsciously, it is moving into things that you do not want to really think about, but you can't help it. Presently, it comes to you. You don't go after it. If you watch your mind from morning till evening, not even 1 hour sitting quietly, if you watch your mind, it will fall back. That is the habit of the mind. So Krishna says to Arjun, hey Arjun, see, how is it relevant to present condition of Arjun? You tell me. He was ready to fight, and whether to fight or not. What is he teaching? Observe your mind. How that mind of yours is prone to such a vicious habit of going back to its own memories and regrets and disappointments and unpleasant things. Now, one would say that, Swamiji, what to do? My buddhi is also not good. I have buddhi, but I am buddhu. Meaning, my intellect is not strong enough to control this mind. That is the reason one has to go for study or satsang. When the gathering of people who are of the like-minded interest, and when they are ready to learn how to strengthen one's own intellect, again, the intellect by nature is decision making. Decisive or decision making. The definition is Sankalpa Vikalpa Atmakam Manaha. Mind is of the nature of oscillation. I mean, always chanchal, indecisive, uncertain. What to talk of people who keep the name itself as chanchal? Kya batao main? What's your name? Fickle. Mr. Fickle. Chanchalati idi chanchalam. See, like water is constantly moving, right? Chanchalati. Keep moving. Mind is constantly in a fickle condition, not steady. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. As Arjun says, mind is chanchal in this very chapter itself. So such a fickle mind is the nature of this mind, and the buddhi or the intellect, when you say it's not another thing, another condition of the same mind, which is of a steady nature. And knowledge alone gives you correct steadiness. Because when you know, you hold on to it. When you don't know, you keep moving around. Isn't it? I'm uncertain about something, we know where to go. When you have you're taking a car and going, first thing in the GPS is password. Where are you going? What is your problem? No. If you want me to direct, then you have to tell me where you're going. You cannot ask GPS. What's your problem? What do you want to know? I mean, okay, you go wherever you want. But if you want to go somewhere, you ask the GPS, they say, where are you going? It gives a direction. This is the way to go. The buddhi is that it has a marga. Marga means a point to reach, a target, a lakshya. The lakshya alone gives marga. The target alone gives you direction. So the intellect is that which is clear about where one needs to go and how to go. So when that is clear, even as the mind oscillates, you come back to the point. Oh no. See, if you are going to a marketplace, if you know what you are going to buy, then you go to that shop only. If you are doing window shopping, that means what? You don't want to buy. You're thinking about buying, but not buying. So if you have a list of things that you need to buy, that's why it's dangerous to do the shopping online. Because you go for one, it shows all other possible things associated with it. Those who bought this also. Oh, then that you buy. And then those who bought this also. So if you are going to buy for $10, it will ultimately you pay from $60 buying so many things. So when you do not have the list of things, especially most of the husbands are like that. Get the dal, the wife says. And she says the name of the dal also. This fellow forgets. He goes to the shop, especially Costco. Dal. There is a dal. There is a one tray full of all dals. He brings the whole thing. This is yours. Why do you buy all these things? Well, I'm not sure what to buy. You said dal, then I bought the whole thing. Sub dalo. So here, when the decision is very clear where to go, the mind goes in that direction. The buddhi directs the mind to that point. So the study of scriptures or the direction advice given by the scriptures or the teacher will give you the ability to steadily think about what is the ultimate goal that I need to reach and what is the immediate point I have to take and how to make the mind not to get occupied with unnecessary thoughts. So the first instruction is lift your mind with the help of your intellect. Manaha buddhya uddaret. First instruction. What happens if you don't? The second statement is na atmanam avasadayet. Avasadanam is, the literal meaning is looking down upon yourself, lowering your standard, disregarding yourself, disrespecting yourself, considering yourself as a failure, useless, unproductive. This is what happens to most teenagers when they don't get the real opportunities in life. They, I think nobody wants me in this world. They get dejected when they are starting to disregard themselves, disrespect themselves, not considering themselves as productive in this world. That is a state called avasadanam, lowering oneself. Never you do that. Meaning you are not useless. As Gurudev would say, you are useless. You don't know your worth. The youngsters who are not given the correct challenge to prove themselves, they feel that they are not useful. Then create that field for yourself to make yourself useful. So the second instruction here is never look down upon yourself. Your mind is capable of doing that. It is always looking for some external stimuli. And that's why it is said, those who are depressed usually become obese. Why? They don't know what to do, eat. But that is the only thing makes them happy. So, in today's world, it is all the more important for us to understand this. Because as the opportunities are more and more, less and less due to various geographical or political conditions, people are feeling that left out and rejected and do not. Arjun, do not, especially Arjun, he says, is kandivam samsrade hasta sakcheva paridahyade. I feel very much agitated. No, I cannot fight. You are the one who is the best archer in the world. How can you say this? Because mind has started losing its confidence. So, na atmanam avasadayet. Do not ever allow your mind to look yourself down. Don't allow your mind to pull you down. That's why the first instruction is important to avoid the second one. When you are able to uplift yourself with your intellect, thereby you are not allowing the mind to go into its habitual way of thinking. And the second one is, even as you attempt it, it will try to put you down. Do not allow that. Na atmanam avasadaye. Do not value yourself based upon how others look at you. That is our problem. We always think our worth is known only by the opinions of others. Don't wait for others' opinion to value yourself. See, if you are sure about a product, it need not wait for the market to tell what is the worth. You say this product is worth and this is the money. This is the cost of it. I know it and it is necessary. When new products are made, how do they know whether the as customer or a clientele wants it or not? When iPad came, who was even thinking about it before? It is nothing but phone on the one hand. On the other hand, it is a computer. It is in between. It's phone also. It's for communication also. It is for work also. They said, why do we want this? For communication, we have the phone. For work, we have the computer. Why do we need anything else? No, you need this. Is it not that now it has become a part of everybody's life? So similarly, your own worth need not be analyzed by what others think of it. You know it. That self-confidence is necessary. Do not devalue yourselves. Do not disrespect yourself. Do not undervalue yourselves. So the young generation of every country must find new fields of engagement such that they will prove to the world their worth. First, they have to be confident about their own worth. So second statement is, na atmanam avasadayet. Atmanam na avasadayet. Do not look down upon yourselves. Now, having said this, the next two are again most important. The third statement is, your own mind is your friend. After all, we have to live with this mind of ours all the waking hours. You cannot get rid of it. You cannot let go of it. The mind is a constant companion, right? When do you want to get rid of it? Only when you sleep. The moment you wake up, it's already there. In fact, it is that which wakes you up also. Come on, get up. So who is a friend? What is the definition of a friend? So I was looking at a Subhashita, very beautifully said, Papan nivarayati yojayati hitaya guhyam niguhati gunan prakatikaroti apadgatam na jihati na jahati. So these are, and then that is kale dadati san mitra lakshanamidam vadanti santaha. Santaha vadanti. Men of wisdom says these are all the qualities of a friend. First one is papa nivarayati. First thing is, a friend is one who dissuades you from doing wrong things. Papat nivarayati. So if your mind is such that it encourages you to do wrong things, it becomes an enemy. When the thoughts of evil and thoughts of revenge and thoughts of bad deeds come to your mind, if your mind is not cautioning you, hey, don't do it, that means such a mind is an enemy. Because who's an enemy? Who wants you to do bad things. Didn't get caught. Whereas a friend immediately cautions, hey, don't do this. Papa nivarayati yojayati hitaya, and always is engaging you, making you engage in hitaya, for the good things, for that which can uplift you, make you better. So here in the third statement he says, Atma eva atmanaha bandhuhu. Again we will bring back to that same point, Buddhi eva manasaha bandhuhu. Your intellect alone is a true friend of yours. Your informed intellect, the decisive intellect. The wise intellect alone is the friend of your mind. A mind that rejects such a friend, it will act against itself. So, papan nivarayati, yojayati hitaya, guhyam niguhati. Whatever is a secret, it keeps it as a secret. It maintains the secret. And gunan prakati karoti. And good qualities, it speaks. So who's a friend who brings out, who makes sure that your secrets are kept and your qualities made known to the world. And then continuing, he says, Apadgatam na jahati. When you are in trouble, he doesn't leave you. You'll know your friend only when you are in trouble. When you are in trouble, whoever leaves you, they are not friends of yours. Apadgatam na jahati. Tadadi kale. And it gives when there is a correct time to give you something. It helps you at the right time. San mitra lakshanamidam vadanti santaha. These are all the qualities of a mitra. So the mind of ours, when it is seeking some guidance, if you are able to get an external guidance, is good. But the guidance that you get by your own intellect, buddhi, the information that you have gathered, if it helps you, then your own self is your friend. That's the third statement. Your own self is your friend. Yourself alone is your friend. Now the capital S is put here only for the highest point. Capital S is put to show that Atma, the highest consciousness. That comes only the last one, where Atma eva Atmanaha Ripuhu. Meaning, if you are not able to thus get guidance by the buddhi, and only you go by the habitual nature of your mind, then yourself become enemy to yourself. Meaning, you will start ignoring your higher nature. Your own higher self, you are not able to recognize its presence. The Paramatma, you ignore. Ego is not very happy with Paramatma around. If that self is around, the ego is getting little unhappy. Why is that around? It is like when Santa Mahatmas come, some of them people are very unhappy, very happy, but these guys are useless. They don't like it. Why? Because they do not know the value of. Recently, somebody gave, books, Chinmaya Mission books or other religious books, which the parents or the mother had gathered and collected in her library for the children to study. See, book is that, unlike the online material, when you buy a book, it is not for yourself alone, but many others can read the same book. Is it not? The book is a book. After all, anybody can pick up and read. When you have only the online, then only you can read it. And others cannot. So she old timer, she had gathered many nice books and then she had kept it in her library, thinking that, the children next to my daughter or granddaughter, grandson, everything, they can read it. They brought the whole Swami. It is for you. I said, for me? Why? I think my mother collected everything for you. I said, Buddhu, it is for you, she collected. It's for me. I have enough of the copies of this. It's for you only. We have no value for it. Now, you see, why don't they have a value for that? Because they do not know where that reading or thinking about what is given there will lead them to. That they don't see it. So it is of no value. Similarly, When Paramatma is said to be a constant presence there, mind is very restless about it. For that mind which is impure. An impure mind is unhappy with the self. That's why it is said. If your mind is not mature enough, guided by the intellect, it will become enemy to yourself. Or it will consider the self, Paramatma, as enemy. The consciousness as enemy. See, there is one called consciousness, another is called conscience. Conscience or the inner voice. So the inner voice, if it constantly tells you that you are doing wrong, you cannot shut it out. Then you have to blub, 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 blub. You have to take to other level of spirituality, which is in the bottle. The bottle spirituality can alone shut down actual spirit. Once, first time when I was going to Canada, at that time I had to apply for visa and then reached there. And then at the immigration, they asked, "So, sir, why are you here?" To give talks on spirit. Huh? Spirit. What spirit? No, spirituality. I mean, okay. You are here to give samples of you. Because when you don't say spirituality, spirit, when you say it, becomes. So people who cannot shut the inner voice, it comes from the noble part of yourself, they have to drown themselves in other spirituality. So your own mind becomes an enemy. That's why some people will feel very uncomfortable when they come to satsang. I will wait outside, you stay inside, you finish and come back. Why? Because they cannot take that reality, the truth. So these four statements are very, very crucial for our own personal growth. It starts with uplifting your mind with the help of the buddhi, which is informed about what is better for you, good for you, progressive for you. That guidance has to come from the buddhi, the intellect, which will uplift the mind, which is habituated to unpleasant memories and thoughts and experiences. And if one does not do that, that very mind becomes slow pulling down of yourselves and never allow that to happen. Now, Atmanam avasade. Your own mind will become your friend when it befriends the buddhi all the time, because it helps you to come out of it, and a constant companion which takes you to the right direction. So your own mind becomes eventually devoid of its own depressive ideas with the help of the intellect, has become mature enough to have the integrity, as Gurudev would say. At some point of time, buddhi and manaha, mind and intellect, becomes one integrated whole. Yoga takes place, that union takes place. Thereafter, the mind cannot or would not act on its own. It becomes evolving into itself as a pure mind, which is the place where the buddhi can easily function. While if the mind is not listening to buddhi, it always removes and goes its own ways, then that very mind becomes enemy to your own self. These are the four important teachings from this 78, right? 78. Somebody has already alarmed. Stop it. Tomorrow we'll see another important verse from chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, which is about how to work. Right? Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।